I think if Asian organizations use it in a strategic way, it provides an opportunity for competitive advantage. In many Asian organizations, they have a history of top-down type of communication, and many employees feel reluctant to speak up, to exert voice, and to provide and share innovative new ideas. And so for organizations that are able to develop that, particularly Asian organizations, that can offer an opportunity for competitive advantage because it's employees who have the creative ideas, source of innovation, and enable organizational change to actually be effective. So for organizations to be able to do that, and that really comes from the CEO of setting that tone, setting the culture around high involvement, it can be a real potent competitive advantage. One of the findings that we thought was important from this study was that when organizations develop cynical cultures, they amplify the cynicism of employees. So when a cynical employee is in a group that is characterized with a cynical culture, it makes their cynicism even more potent and more powerful, and reduces innovation and engagement of other employees as well. Leadership is the effective antidote here, and this is again where the critical role of the CEO is to develop a strong culture that enhances and embraces innovation and effective organizational change, setting a tone that encourages involvement, participation in decision making, inclusion in decision making. All of those are key characteristics, and CEOs set that tone through their behavior, through the expectations that they send for their management team and for leaders throughout the organization. Particularly in uncertain times, the role of the CEO is critical of being able to blend both strategy development and strategy execution. Because in dynamic times, there is no opportunity for strategy execution to catch up with strategy formulation. So CEOs really need to be able to excel at being able to do both. They need to develop the competitive global strategy. They need to develop a workforce that enables them to be able to execute and fulfill the promise of that global strategy. And they need to be able to effectively form strategic alliances, effectively negotiate and have influence, and develop a strong organizational culture of innovation and organizational change. One part of the program that I'll be emphasizing is around how organizations can develop sustainable ecosystems of organizational innovation and change. And so that begins with how do you create an organizational culture that thrives on innovation? How do you build that type of a culture and a system that gets the most out of employees' creative ideas and then effectively takes that creativity and develops that into sustainable ways of creating competitive advantage? And also from the standpoint of how do you enable enduring organizational change? How can you develop an organizational system, an organizational culture that embraces change and manages change effectively? So we're going to wed those two themes together around innovation and organizational change. I think the highlight has really been in assembling this all-star faculty team that we've been able to put together. So what we're bringing through JOCE is bringing thought leaders in critical areas around strategy development and strategy execution. So for instance, Anil Gupta is probably one of the world's leading experts in strategic management, particularly in terms of global strategic management and international management expansion, particularly in the Far East and in Asia. And Anil, for instance, is regularly included in Bloomberg, MSNBC, the Wall Street Journal, and Business Week, among many other leading business magazines, and is highly regarded as a thought leader. Mark Huslett and Brian Becker have worked together to develop probably the leading way of thinking about competitive advantage through how you manage human capital and manage and develop your workforce. So they're playing critical roles in this program as well. And then we're also going to be emphasizing both the application of concepts, but also how do you take those concepts back to your organization and develop enduring strategies that allow you to be able to execute on those strategies. So it's really through developing this team and allowing them to be able to work with a group of what I know will be great executives that is offering to be a really engaging and intriguing part of this whole program. I think it's how we bring together a kind of a top quality faculty team that all are leading thought leaders in different areas around strategy development and strategy execution, but also doing that and designing a program that also brings the most out of the participants in this program. The participants that we know that will have part of this program bring a wealth of knowledge, and so the excitement is in bringing that together with the faculty thought leaders and the participants through a number of different types of learning situations and opportunities. So we'll be doing some that are going to be focused on leading edge cases and thought leadership types of pieces, others that will have a lot of dialogue and interaction among the participants and with faculty, and a lot of hands-on exercises and activities that allow CEOs and leading executives to be able to kind of develop their thinking and be able to sharpen and crisp it, and also be able to apply that thinking back into their organization to be able to bring value out of the investment that they make through their time and energy in participating in the program.